Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to jack up your car and take a wheel off. Now it sounds like a very simple and mundane task, but a lot of people don't know how to do it, and there is things that you need to do to make sure it's safe. There is one thing that I didn't do in this video that you should really do, and that is to, I think it's cork or chalk, whatever it's called, put some wood on the opposite end of your car under the wheels so that it cannot move. But besides from that, let's get into this video. So as you can see now, I'm showing you that I've got it in first, and I've also got the handbrake up. You want to make sure you got the gear in, your car in first, and with the handbrake up. This prevents the vehicle from moving and pretty much being as secure as it can possibly be. I have my cameraman today, or camera woman, helping me out, taking off the trim of the wheel. First thing that you've got to do is break them loose while the car is on the ground. Not too loose, obviously. As you can see here, I'm literally just giving it one little push that it's loose, but I can feel it give way in the bolt. And remember, when you're tightening and loosening, you kind of want to do it in a pattern, especially when tightening. It is really important when tightening, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Now, as we go around to the back of the car, I've already placed my jack in the correct spot. As you can see that it is on the main frame of the vehicle. Now, you don't want to jack up from the exhaust or from the heat shields or from the fuel tank. You want to make sure that you are jacking up from a very secure actual bit of the frame of the vehicle. Also, as you can see here, the jack has grooves in it. Now you want to make sure that these grooves are in the frame. If you're unsure where to jack your car up, if you do a quick Google check, or if you look at your user manual for the vehicle, it will also show you that as well. So we are just jacking this up to a level that I can get my axle stands underneath. I'm only putting my axle stands on the first setting because we don't really need to go under the car, we just need to have it in the air. So as I'm showing you now, this is the cross section of where the wheel is connected to the frame. As you can see, I put it next to it. I need to jack it up just a little bit more so that it's easier to do. Well, so it actually fits under. There we go. I'm jacking up a couple more. But you want to make sure that when you put the axle stand underneath, you want to make sure that it is completely flat on the bottom of it, and also that the groove at the top is in the same way that the metal is facing. So as you can see here, there's a bit of metal at the back that I rest it upon, and then I angle it slightly so that when it comes down, it will sit nicely in those grooves. See, I've angled them both in. Now when you put the jack, this jack is very old and it can be a little bit sensitive, but you want to make sure, see I'm putting the release here, you want to make sure you go really slow. As you can see now, I'm going so slow so I can easily put it on the axle stand so it's nice and secure, and I know that it's good. So as you see, the jack has completely released from the frame, so I know it's on there good. And you want to make sure, just for added protection, that you jack up the jack just a little bit so it doesn't lift the car, but it holds it in place as well, just as an added protection there, just in case. And then you want to also give your car a little bit of a push. I don't know if I do it or not in this, but you want to make sure you give the car a little bit of a push so that you know that it's 100% secure. Now while I'm using the tyre iron, make sure that you have a tyre iron that will fit the bolts of your wheel. Tyre irons are so useful. As you can see, you just slide it on, you give it one good twist, and then because obviously the shape that it is, you can spin it and they literally come off with ease. It's so easy. And then you just unscrew them from the thread there. I'm a little bit clumsy, I forget to catch them. but yeah, it's really not that difficult. It's extremely easy to change a tyre. That one did a runner. Now my wheels are extremely light, so as you can see, I can just pull them off, but you want to make sure you get one hand behind it at the back and one hand at the bottom at the front, just so you get a good hold of it. As you can see here, I've also put the wheel under the car. Now that is that's good if you get that inbuilt in your head. As again, if you're working under the car and for some reason it decides to fall, it will hit the wheel instead of you. You'd rather break a wheel than be crushed. So yeah, definitely. Now when it comes to aligning it, if you've got a really heavy wheel, you want to rest it on your feet and kind of rock it on. I'm doing it in the most awkward way possible. I don't know why I am, but I am. But because my wheel is so light, I kind of just chucked it on there, not gonna lie. See, now the way I've done it right now, you don't want to do it. It is a lot easier if you sit on the floor. I will correct myself in a minute because I know that I'm just being an absolute idiot with the way I'm doing it now. As you can see, it's really bad, but I'll correct myself in a minute, don't worry. But yeah, when you take the wheel off, make sure it's under the vehicle so that if you're, messing around with the exhaust or the back box, or if you've got a middle box or whatever, you'll be 100% secure under there, if in case it falls. As you see now, I've sat down because I've realised I need to actually do this properly. Again, using the tyre iron. Genuinely, all you need to take off a tyre is a jack, some axle stands, maybe not even an axle stand if you want to do it a little bit unsafe, but like you need to change a tyre in an emergency. Just the jack, a tyre iron, obviously making sure that the measurement of the tyre iron fits the bolts of your wheel, and a torque wrench, and I have an impact socket that goes on the torque wrench so that it's made for tightening up wheels, which we will do at the end once I've done it. So as you can see here now, I'm using my knee to hold the wheel flat. I pushed the top of it on, tightened the top so it was just finger tight on the actual metal, and now I'm doing the bottom one. I don't know why it was struggling to go on the thread. I have no idea why, but also make sure that when you're twisting these and screwing these onto the thread, there is no resistance. Okay, if there's a bit of resistance, come straight back off because you could be cross-threading it, and if you cross-thread it, that is very bad. But as you see here now, I'm just tightening them so that they're finger tight, and then I'm going to do the other two. Nice and simple, nice and easy. And then once I've got all four of them on, I'll come around again with the tyre iron. You want to tighten it. Again, this bit's very important. You want to do it in a specific pattern. You always go to the opposite bolt. So as you can see here, I start on the top. I just tighten it hand tight. Then I go straight down. Again, do it so it's hand tight, and then I go left. If you're doing like a 5-bolt tyre or anything like that, it's easier to see where you're like crossing. But actually I've done it right, and now all you want to go over each one again, but you want to give it a good grab, obviously using the tyre iron for leverage and pushing either end to give it one good twist. Now if your bolts are really hard to take off, you can use a breaker bar, but my bolts are fine, so I didn't need to use it. See, now that I've got all the bolts on tight enough, we now need to lower the car. Obviously I need to pump up the jack a couple more times to get the axle stands out. And that's what I'm doing now, just removing the axle stands, nice and easy, nice and quick. As you can see, it's a really easy and quick job. And it's really not as hard as some people make it seem. In my next video, I will be changing the oil, so stay tuned for that. And as you can see, I'm going very slow with it, make sure my car drops really safely, really slowly, and then I'm making sure that the jack returns to the original bottom position, giving it a little bit, you've got to tighten up so that it doesn't, so it actually works when you want to use it. I put that away, and now it's time for the torque wrench. Now you want to make sure that you torque your wheel to the correct measurement, okay? Because every vehicle, not every vehicle, but some vehicles are different than others, and I'm just showing you here. So these wheels need to be torqued to 110 Newton meters, which is what I'm doing now. I'm just getting it to the right measurement, making sure that it's good, and then that little screw at the bottom, if you tighten it, it can't change the measurement. And now I'm just putting torque wrench in, and I'm pushing down until it clicks. and then once it gives one good click, you want to stop completely, and then as you pull away, it will click again, and you know that it is to the correct measurement. And then once you've done that, you just put the cap on, well, not the cap, you put the trim back onto the wheel, and you're done. And that is it. That is how easy it is to change a tyre and to jack up your vehicle. Now the same thing applies for the front of the vehicle. You don't want to lift it, you don't want to jack it up by the engine, you don't want to jack it up by anything like serious. You want to make sure that you're jacking up by a frame. Again, if you're unsure of this, you can look up in your user manual for your vehicle, or give a quick Google search, which is probably a little bit easier to help you out. Now I hope this video helps you guys and gives you some good information. Again, stay tuned for the next video where I'll be doing a service on my car. I don't know if I'm changing the spark plugs as well as the oil filter. I might do that in a different video, I'm not quite sure. I'll probably end up doing it in the same video if they arrive. If not, I'll be doing just the oil filter. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. Again, suggestion what you'd like me to do next with my vehicle. Again, I'm always looking at new suggestions. You know, anybody wants to say anything, that I am here to listen to it. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. Share it with your friends. Click that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload next time. And I hope you all guys are having a great and splendid day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.